Hi, this is Ken Cardy. I'm coming to you on a foggy morning, September 15th from Millennium Tower 3608. And today we're going to do a little class on how to, kind of work out some of these little issues that happen on our marble countertops. This is my friend Luke. You might see his sister Leia at some point. But, let's just jump right into it. Okay, so just sharing here, I am not an expert on, marble and stone surfaces. I'm just a homeowner in the building, and I've had some issues, and I'm going to share my expertise. So, which is really not expertise whatsoever. It's just what I've learned from YouTube videos and trying things out. Okay, so the first thing I've kind of run into is a problem where sometimes, like, you'll get a little bit of grease spatter. Like, let's say that I'm, cooking some scallops and some butter here on the stove. I don't really have any right now, but what I found in this case is that marble is very porous, so it kind of sucks in the grease, and that you need to get it out. And for that problem, I've gotten this huge container. I guess you maybe can't tell how big it is, but it's really huge because I was hoping this would solve all my problems. It's called Poultice Stain Remover, and basically what it is kind of like almost like a mud, and you put it on the surface and you kind of cover it up and you let it sit there, and it'll suck the like the butter stain out. And that sort of thing. So this is really not the issue that today's video is about, but if anybody needs this, I'm in 3608 and I have probably a lifetime supply of this product. So if you ever, kind of do spill something and you want to grab it out, just let me know and I could give you some of that. But the problem that we're going to talk about today is a different problem, and I'm going to pause again and come back in a second and explain it. Okay, so the problem that we're going to talk about today is a different problem than, getting like grease in your counter. It's that you have what I would kind of describe as, little dull spots, and a lot of times they're in the shape of like a water ring here. So like if I kind of point over here, it's a little hard to see with the light, but you kind of see that there's a couple of little rings here. And what we find is that, so first of all, when people come over, that no matter what happens, you think you're going to sit on the couches or whatever, everybody just congregates around the island, and that's just kind of a common thing. So, and people have their drinks around the island, and I think that these, kind of come just because, they put their drinks down, and there's, just like a little bit of acidity or whatever on the bottom of the glass, and what it's causing is not like a deep, like something that's really absorbed into the stone. It's just something that's more, kind of on the surface level. And I realize I'm not showing you these spots all that well, but hopefully that first little glance of a few of the spots, kind of gives you the idea. So anyway, what I've learned is that, these are really at the very surface level, and basically the technique that I'm going to show you here is almost like a way to, just kind of polish your surface level by yourself with a little bit of an abrasive. And what it's going to do is it's just going to, without having any long-term negative effects on your tile, it's just going to wipe that away and bring out the natural shine again in the stone. So I'm going to pause again here and I'll show you the product that we use. Okay, so let's go on and I'll tell you, what I'm using. And it's a little hard, it's a little blurry here, but this product, and you can find it on Amazon, that's where I found it, is called Lustro Italiano. That's Lustro, Lustro Italiano Etch Remover. And before I, kind of tell you how you can use the product, I'm going to tell you how not to use the product. So I just kind of read all the directions again, and it, kind of has a whole bunch of warnings. It says, 1, don't use it on granite. 2, if you have really deep scratches and that kind of thing. By the way, this is Leia. That's Luke's sister. If you have, like some really deep scratches, you might need a professional. This is kind of more for like surface level etching and that type of thing. It also says, don't leave the product on the surface for more than 10 minutes. So, so that kind of thing. And, we'll kind of take it from there. So just to kind of talk a little bit about the product itself. I mean, what it looks like is it looks just like, kind of a very fine sand, and when I first got it, it had a little bit of water, or liquid on top. I'm not really sure if it's water. And, on the top here, it says, attention, don't mix it or stir it or shake it and that kind of thing. And so what, what I think it is it's kind of like a fine sand, like, it's really a sandpaper-like effect. And what you're doing is, you're just kind of using this sand to kind of sand the surface. But like when I read the warning about, don't leave it for more than 10 minutes, it says that the reason for that is that the acid in this product is an acid, such that if you leave it on the surface, it could kind of do some damage. So I think what you have here is really just some very fine sand with some type of acidic, kind of mixture in it, and that's, kind of what you're using. And given that, it also, kind of warns that you're going to use some gloves. So the next thing I'll do is I'll hand the camera off, and I'll, get some gloves on, and we'll show you how to, dig in and start, kind of removing some etches.
Go.
Okay, so now I'm going to actually start using the product. And so basically, I'm sort of reading you the directions again, but it says that you should, if your area is more than 4 inches, which you probably have a lot of areas, it says do a 4-inch section at a time and that type of thing. And then it basically says you just grab some of the product and you put it on the area. So I'm going to take like one of these water rings right here. So I'm just grabbing, it says like up to a teaspoon of the product. So I'm going to start with this area of a couple water rings here, and I'm not sure how well you can see it, but I've just kind of got some of the product on the surface, and then it just says wipe in a circular motion for 3 to 4 minutes on an area. So as you see, I'm kind of just pulling this stuff back in, so I get the so I get it going on, and I'm just kind of going around and around. So one thing I've kind of found too is that like you kind of have to, you're going to get part of it, and then you'll go back and you sort of, this is iterative, you go back a few times. So usually, like, to deal with all the spots I have, this will probably be in total, like 45-minute process. I'll kind of work certain areas, and I'll come back and, see what I missed, and then, kind of do it again. So it also says on the product that, while you're doing it, if it gets really dry, and it might actually be feeling a little bit dry already here, that you could add a little bit of water. But I guess, I don't know, I guess on the one hand, it does feel, moist enough that it's going. So really, this is the technique, and as you can see, it's, it's just polishing and kind of working it in. So we're going to pause the video again here. Okay, hi, this is Ken again. So I've rubbed this one area, and I've kind of wiped all of the material off of it, and I'm kind of looking at it, and I can see that I've taken a lot of it off, but there's still a little bit left. So I guess two things that I want to say I'm not very good at. One is that, I do get a little bit of the sand stuff on the floor, so I want to make sure to sweep that up right away. And then the second thing is that it's kind of hard, since it's sometimes hard to see these things if you're not looking from the right angle, is it's kind of hard to, stay focused on the area, like that 4-inch square that you're focused on. So that's kind of another error. But I think I'm going to end the video here. But ultimately, you just kind of keep doing this, and wipe it off when you're done. And then what the instructions say is that after you want to kind of not put anything on the surface for 24 hours, then you want to seal it after the 24 hours is over. And I do have a sealing product that I'll show you in a second. Okay, so here's the last piece of the